Hi, good evening. This is Thea Owens with Faux Carb Fusion. I'm going to be making for you my favorite meatloaf recipe. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is starting with some ground hamburger and ground turkey. I like to use half and half. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot stand touching raw meat with my hands. So we're going to be getting this here. So we'll start by taking the raw hamburger and putting it into a bowl. We want to get a nice good sized bowl so that we have plenty of room for mixing. And this is just some very basic hamburger. I think it's like 80%. And then we've got some very basic ground turkey, which is 80-20. So I'm going to be putting these together. And then into that, I'm going to be mixing the following ingredients. I'm starting with 2 eggs that I beated together and mixed in a garlic aioli, Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of cream, some balsamic vinaigrette with a basil and tomato, and some Dijon mustard. I whisk this all together with the eggs, and then I'm going to combine it into my meatloaf, into my raw meat. I also have half of a red onion, all diced up pretty fine. I have 1/4 teaspoon of the following ingredients, and that would be onion salt, oregano, thyme, and pepper. I also have, I'm going to be adding to my meatloaf, and this is my binder, and I use the Faux Carb Fusion butter bean bread that's just kind of diced up into little chunks. I used about 2 slices. So I'm going to be combining all of this together with my hands. And then once it's formed into a nice thick meat paste, we'll be forming it into our pan. Now when you're working it around, you really got to squeeze apart that bread. Another option is to grind it up, but I kind of like the little bread-like chunks. It adds a nice flavor and texture to my meatloaf, and it helps it to stick together real nice. My gloves are falling off. Okay. So once that is all combined, we're going to be, come a little closer.
Well, not that close.
Let's try that again. Am I upside down? Oops, I'm upside down. There you go. All right, so once we've got our meat combined together, I'm going to put on a fresh pair of gloves, and I've got just a real simple pie pan here. I like to make my meatloaf into a circle because that's kind of how my parents did it, and to me it makes sense now because it allows it to cook more evenly when it's in a ring versus trying to check the middle all the time and the middle's not done yet. So I've got this here into a pile, and I'm just going to form it into a circle. And then I'm going to make a hole with 2 fingers right in the center of the meatloaf and just keep working it around until I get a little donut-like structure. And that is honestly the easiest way to do it. You form it just like that. Ta-da! So I've got the oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm going to bake this for about 35 to 45 minutes. So we set the timer, check it. Sit tight. Let's see. I'm going to go 40 minutes. All right. So that's it for the faux carb meatloaf. using our faux carb bread, butterbean bread, as a binder for any other recipes that you might use. Like if you're trying to make a stuffing, it would work really great for the stuffing. You can grind it up to use for breading. You can also make meatballs with it. Anything where you would usually use a binder. I've also mixed it with a bunch of vegetables and a sauce and stuffed it into some green peppers. So the butterbean bread, it has a lot of possibilities for different things that you can do to make your recipes more adaptable to a low carb lifestyle. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Thea Owen signing off, saying have a fabulous faux carb day. And go to our Facebook page at Faux Carb Fusion LLC to see the finished pictures of my dinner tonight.